Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw.
Okay.
That's a fun one.
Okay, well, they're all fun for me. So hold on, let me see.
So remember I said we visited Puerto Rico. That's
Okay.
where that is. That's actually in El Yunque.
Okay. Okay, let me. There's
You
a
want to give the...
there's a pendejo rendejo theme. I love
There
it.
you go.
Okay, so it's a photograph of 5 guys standing in a stream. Was the water cold or hot?
It was pretty good, actually. It was like a regular sort of like almost body temperature. It was a
Okay.
little chilly, but not like cold, you know?
One guy is wearing a baseball cap. The rest of you are buck naked. You're covering your junk.
Well, he's buck naked too. He's just got the baseball cap.
No, it's true. Of course. It's a good point. Yeah, but y'all naked, hanging out. Yeah, like okay. So what? What am I looking at? What is this? Okay, so let me describe the picture a little bit better. So basically, you're in a forest, outdoors.
Yeah, that
It's
would be
afternoon light.
El Yunque National Forest
Okay.
in Puerto Rico.
Okay, and so it's a beautiful stream, lots of exposed rock, lots of beautiful sort of lush background. Is it jungle or is it not quite jungle there?
I think it is jungle. I'm not sure, honestly.
Okay.
That's a good question. I know it's El Yunque. I think it's National Forest. I'm not
Okay.
sure if that counts as a jungle. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I don't
Are
think so.
there caiman or crocodiles in that area?
I don't believe so. I hope not. I mean, if there are, we didn't run into any, luckily.
You're all standing in about 4 or 5 inches of water of the stream going over.
Right. It goes deeper in a couple
Sure.
spots around there, but yeah, we all stood on that spot
Now-
to take the photo.
Yeah. Well, and, why are all 5 of you naked? Like, what's that story?
Well, we had just done the Puerto Rico tattoo convention, all of us, and we had like a really fun weekend. We all had a great time. And then we were there for I think like 4 or 5 days after the convention just to like enjoy Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. And we planned on going out to El Yunque National Forest. And I've always liked like punk rock and old music and like old rock and roll stuff or whatever. And like, you know, you ever seen like the old Red Hot Chili Peppers photo where they're all naked and they got this? I just had an idea. I was like, yo, it'd be funny if we just took a naked photo out here, just all of us. It'd be really hilarious if we all just got naked and took this photo out in the middle of the national forest.
And what when you brought that up, what was their reaction? They were just like, oh yeah, let's do it.
They were like, you do it first and we'll do it. And I immediately got naked. I just did it. There's another photo of just me, but I didn't post that one because that one is mic fell a little bit. You want to grab that?
So okay, so you guys got out there and you did this. So is it because was this feeling of you guys are like a band? Is it?
Yeah, that. I mean, I don't know if that was like the specific reason we did it, but that we do get that feeling, especially like the way we were traveling there. There was like we would travel with like 8 to 10 of us at a time. We were traveling in a van with all of us tricked together, you know, staying together. So I always did say it felt like, you know, as close to you as you can get to like being in a touring band without actually being in a touring band, you know?
Sure.
So yeah, that we did definitely have that sort of a feeling of like we're kind of rock stars traveling around the country, just doing wild shit. So that kind of is definitely a theme that we had in there. I don't know if we were thinking about that when we took the picture. I just think we thought it would be funny.
Yep.
You know?
So what was the reaction of people to that image, to that, like how does this image?
I posted it on my Instagram when we took it. You know, people thought it was funny. Everybody there was of course a couple closeted macho men thinking they were too macho to see like, oh, this is fucking gay ass, what you posted. Like, oh, shut up, dude. You liked it. You know what I mean? That's posturing, funny. Like, I'm too straight to like this photo. Shut the fuck up, dude. You know it's funny.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And you know, we made sure there was no one around. We weren't trying to bother anyone.
Well, but then again, it's like, okay, so you know in Vancouver...
We hadn't seen anyone in like 2 hours. Right. We're like, I think we're good, you know?
Sure. It's a great photograph. It's really great.
Yeah, I like that photo a lot.
So, I guess when so just that you know, like where this episode, where this recording fits, is that, you know, for the past almost 3 years, started in Savannah, I've been talking to people and saying, okay, well, what makes you tick, and can we use this to inspire somebody else, right? So for example, when you're when you were in that dark place, struggling in school as a kid, especially as a kid because your brain is still forming, so you don't know anything. And let's say that kid was listening to you now. What would you tell them? Would you give them if you're their mentor?
Honestly, I don't know if I would change much because I have said like one of my regrets is not going straight into tattooing or whatever. Yeah. And even before that, when I was in middle school, I had a lot of teachers always telling me, in Miami there's this art magnet school for high school. So it's basically like an art college, but you go when you're still in high school.
Oh, okay.
So instead of going to a regular high school, you go to a high school where like you have your regular high school classes like math and English, but they're like half of the amount of time that you spend in your art classes in that high school. So it's focused on art. Yeah. And I had a bunch of teachers telling me to do that, and I could have gotten in if I tried, but I just didn't try because I never liked trying in school, period.
Right. Oh, okay.
So I just didn't want to do it, you know what I mean? So I've thought about maybe do I regret not doing that, but then I also think about like what if I did that and became just like some pretentious asshole that me now would hate, you know what I mean? Like what if me growing up and doing exactly what I did is exactly how I ended up here?
Maybe that is exactly right.
Maybe I would have ended up trying to be like an animator or some shit like that if I went to that school, and then I wouldn't be here today, and maybe I wouldn't have the career I have or be happy, you know what I mean? I might just still be struggling trying to become an animator when
not really what I want. Anyway. This is just part of what your journey is taking you on. Yeah, so should I move my arm more?
Yeah, it's gonna get this red circle now.
Okay. Why don't you talk about what being a tattoo artist, which is kind of what you had to realize and learn, as an apprentice and learn as somebody doing it, is the business, right?
For sure.
And so how have you evolved as a business person? Because in a way, so for example, all of this stuff like on Instagram, curating the posting, and everything from how you dress, like from my training or whatever, I'd say that you're cultivating your brand, right?
For sure.
In terms of people learning about your reputation, and not doing this podcast is a way of enhancing how you put yourself in the market.
Right.
So why don't you talk about what you've learned and what you can share to other people about personal branding?
Honestly, I feel like the best way to brand yourself and the easiest way is just continue to be yourself and just try to not do things that are like unprofessional, I guess you would say. Because I honestly, I haven't changed anything about myself for like social media perceptions or anything like that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I might not go yell at someone because I'm like, all right, fuck, that might come back later. Or like, I might, even though I'm not good at that either, I might still fucking come bitch at you. You know what I mean? I'm the Cuban American comes out sometimes when I get angry. Okay. So yeah, I mean, just the main thing is really just trying to stay professional in certain situations, like especially if they already know who I am, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like if I'm at a tattoo convention and somebody pisses me off really bad, like I want to go fuck them up, but I'm like, all right, I'm at work. Let me not go beat this guy's ass right now. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I have to stay professional. I don't want that getting out there. Like, oh yeah, I went to get tattooed by that guy and then he ended up beating this dude's ass while I was getting tattooed. Like I don't want that fucking reputation at all. You know what I mean? I've seen people with that reputation. It doesn't feel good.
No.
So
how about in terms of like when did something happen that really caught you off guard and really surprised you, but it was also like, oh, wait a second, like I'm like, this is my career, this is me, I'm obviously good at what I do. When did you or have you had this feeling of I've elevated or graduated from being a beginner to?
We get like a level up feeling every once in a while, but there's also like that thing of an like imposter syndrome where you're like, am I tricking everyone? You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like I've definitely have some of that a lot, where it's like, yeah, no, you guys think I'm great, but I don't feel that way. But
sure. Well, because you're still learning.
Right. Still exactly.
Evolving. Okay.
Exactly.
So have you seen any trends?
Tattooing is super trendy. Yeah. People,
so people will come to you and say, oh, I want a unicorn. It's just like, okay, now it's the unicorns. Yeah.
Right, yeah. I don't know if I've had unicorn specifically, but there's definitely trends that go around.
So can you think of any trends?
I mean, infinity symbols is one we make fun of all the time, but that's not much of a trend anymore.
Right.
Let's see, what would be trendy now? A lot of people are getting like these really like fine line, but like almost purposely badly drawn images, you know? It's like this like, they call it kind of like ignorant style tattooing is what people call it. And it's just like purposely badly done. I can't stand that stuff. Like, I just don't do that stuff. I just tell them no.
Sure.
You know what I mean? A lot of the trends now aren't so bad, you know what I mean? Like it's just like getting your favorite characters tattooed or whatever. Which, you know, it's like cartoon characters, it's trendy, but I'm not mad at it, you know? I'll do it all day.
Have there been any cringe because in a way you're there to serve, right? So somebody comes and say, listen, I really want Curious George. Give me Curious George.
That's not cringe at all. That's dope. I think that's tight.
Pick a different. Have you ever had a cringe one come in? You're just like, oh, dude, really?
The cringy things is usually sometimes when couples come in for matching tattoos and you could tell it's just not gonna last, and you're like, oh, I'm sorry, but you know.
let me leave a little bit of white space.
Right. Yeah.
Around
exactly.
that, so you may want to add something.
It's like, you sure you don't want to get his name in red instead of black? That way it's easy to cover up later on. No? Okay, whatever.
So, have you had people faint, cry?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So faint?
I don't know about. Yeah, kind of like sort of like pass out a little bit. That's usually something more to do with like blood sugar levels and stuff like that. And it's usually somebody who has like a history of like fainting from things. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Usually it's not somebody like, I've never passed out before in my life. What was that? No, it's usually like somebody who's like, I pass out sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes they don't tell you till after they pass out. It's like, it would have been nice to know that before we started this process. You know, thanks. I'm just in the middle of tattooing, you suddenly start falling towards me. Like, shit.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a little scary, but like after like it's happened to you a few times, you're
a
little more like, all right, I've seen this before.
How about tears?
Just hold on to them. Sometimes, yeah. It's a little uncomfortable because you know you're doing it to them and they're crying, but they also don't want you to stop. So you're like, sorry.
Right.
You know what I mean? I tattoo my girlfriend sometimes, and it's real hard for me because I don't want to hurt her, but she's like, God damn it, man. Like, yeah, it's a little harder to tattoo people like you know, especially if they're like going through it during the tattoo, because it's like, damn it, man, I don't want to hurt you. I like you. You know what I mean?
Okay. So what's the longest that you tattooed somebody? In terms, because it's a fatiguing, high concentration process.
Right.
So, yeah, what's the longest that you've done?
I think maybe like 6 or 7 hours, something like that. Not too much. I mean, there's tattooers who have like fucking 12, 14-hour sessions in a day, and you're like, I could not do that, man. I would go crazy, I think, trying to do something like that.
So why wouldn't they?
Guys who do it.
But why wouldn't they just break it up with?
A lot of the time, when somebody does something like that, it's because somebody's traveling to get tattooed. So if somebody just came from Europe to get tattooed from me, they only have.
Does that happen?
Be here for a week? No, not specific to me. That's
like if somebody comes here from Taiwan or Antarctica, you know.
Right. I have tattooed people who were traveling from there, but they didn't specifically come to get tattooed. They were just here.
Got it.
Got tattooed while here.
Yeah.
But
I assume a lot of military come through because Savannah's got a big military presence.
Yeah, we get a lot of military out here for sure.
Is it ever a big cruise, like 10 guys?
Oh, once in a while. We also get a lot of what'll happen a lot is like one guy will from a squad or a platoon or whatever will come get tattooed.
Yeah.
And then they'll tell everyone else in their squad about it. About the shop, and then you get like that entire squad coming to get tattooed.
Sure, which is good.
Yeah, for sure. Love it.
Yeah, so one of the things I've come to sort of think about is that it's this idea that like, is there such a thing as fate? Is there such a thing as like destiny, predetermined, whatever that is?
Right.
And not like Savannah is super Christian, like religious.
There's a lot. Yeah.
There's a lot of like it's pretty intense.
It's like almost the Bible Belt, but not technically, you know what I mean?
But it's like there are a lot of churches, and I just feel that people here are a lot more...
It's the southern thing, you know? For sure. You'll see that in a lot of southern states, you know?
Right. So like when I think about this idea of fate or whatever, it's just like, I feel like the world is so complex and life is so complex and so for example, like how do we make sense of the fact that I'm here sitting with you and you're doing this this tattoo when actually in my mind originally the idea was I'd like to give a female tattoo artist a break.
Right.
But then I was like, well, I only have a limited time in Savannah and this is what the universe wants is
of course
or wants like whatever like this is
what happened.
Yeah, that's what happened. So how do you have is this something that even has ever occurred to you or you're just like nah man I just go with the flow like
what do you mean podcast or talking?
No like in terms of how things happen like so for example have you ever been in an accident have you ever had
I don't know I kind of think it's a little bit of both there's like sort of like a way things just go naturally, but I think we could kind of affect the outcome of it. Okay.
So I'm here to help, well, to dog sit, but also help my brother-in-law. So I was driving out to Tybee, and some radio station was like just playing blues. It's like there's something about listening to the blues in Georgia,
for sure,
on the highway. It
feels right.
There's a weird presence, it's a weird intensity.
For sure. A lot of it came from here, so.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So how does music fit in your life? Like,
I used to do vocals for like metal bands and stuff like that when I was younger. So and when I was younger, like in like middle and high school, I wanted to be in a touring band, and that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I had this idea of just like traveling around the country with a band, playing music, screaming fans and all that. And I don't know, man. I just kind of dropped that idea.
Well, you settled into something that
exactly.
helped
I realized how much I love tattooing, and I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. You know what I mean? But definitely when I was younger, there was a period where I was like, I want to be a rock star. Now music is really just, I love going to see live music.
Yeah.
I love listening to music while I tattoo. If we weren't having an interview or whatever, we would have had music playing behind us the whole time.
Yep. And what about like Afro-Cuban music? Is that something that...
I don't know if I have like specific examples. I'm sure I've heard some of it, but I know like Celia Cruz and shit like that. Technically in that range, in that realm, Sweet. Let me clean this up real quick. Make sure we're done. I think we might be there.
Who knows what the future will bring?
All right, man. Let's just put some water on there to clean it up. Get the soap off, and you can check it out. There's a mirror over there. You can give it a closer look as well.
Sure. But wait, let me check this out. Wait. What?
War.
Dude, you made a mistake.
Did I?
Supposed to be shooting at Rand.
Oh man, I fucked it up.
Shooting at Raw? What the fuck is that? Just joking. Perfect. Jordan Mallon?
Yep.
Thank you, sir. Gracias.
Thank you.
Awesome. You're part of the legacy. Thank you so much. So is life really a gift? Really? Can you make every second count? That's the whole point of the podcast. So if you like what you've seen and you're inspired, because that really is my mission, then please give it a like, subscribe, and share.
Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw.